Okay, good morning, boys and girls. It's March 2nd, Tuesday, and today we're talking about elapsed time. So we're taking some notes in our math notebook. The title is Elapsed Time. So elapsed time, all that means is the amount of time that has passed from start to finish of an activity. Okay? So from a beginning to an end, you're finding how much time has passed. Okay, then as best you can, after you write that definition, we're going to draw a clock. And we're going to discuss some things about a clock, just to review some things that we should have learned in first and second grade. Okay, so once you have your clock drawn, we're going to write what the shorthand means. So who can tell me what the shorthand tells us, or what it points to? The hour hand. Good. So the shorthand is the hour. The longhand is the minutes. Okay, a couple more things that you're going to hear in the lesson today and that you need to review is how many hours are in one day?
8 hours. 8 hours.
24.
Huh? 24 hours.
8 hours in like a work day, maybe. That's how many hours you usually work in a day. But the hours, full hours, daytime and nighttime, is 24 hours. Okay? How many minutes equals an hour? Bryson?
60.
Good. 60 minutes equals 1 hour. Okay, how many seconds are in a minute? Evangeline? 60. So 60 seconds. I'm just going to abbreviate it using SEC. Okay, and on the clock, what do they skip by?
They skip by 5.
Okay, so skip by 5s on the clock for the minutes. And the clock is also broken up into quarters. Okay, so sometimes you may hear people say a quarter past or a quarter to. Okay, the reason they say that is because we can take this clock and split it like in fourths, like a circle. So if I would go down the middle and across this way, okay? Those are 4 pieces, right? We see 1/4 here, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4. Okay? So when they say quarter, quarter stands for fourths. Okay? So when you hear quarter to, that means it's right here on the 9, because it's 15 minutes until the next hour. So a quarter to means you would be at the 9, and that the 9 stands for how many minutes?
It stands for 45.
45. Good. So let's put that on our clock. 45 right there. Okay, so a quarter to means you would be at the 45 on the clock. A quarter past means something different. What do y'all think that means?
A quarter past means
It's a quarter past the hour, so we would be right here, the first quarter. And the 3 on the clock stands for what minute?
It stands
15. Good. So now you know why they say quarter. If your mom says, oh, it's a 1:45, time we need to leave, that means you have 15 minutes until it's time to go. Okay, one more thing that you might hear is half past. Half past. So if I cut that clock in half, starting at the 12, I would land where?
you would land
At the 6. And the 6 we know stands for what? 30 minutes. Plus 30 is half of 60, so that's how you get half. Okay, those are all the notes we're going to take today. We just needed to review some simple things that we should know, refresh our memory. So now once you have your notes done, we're going to open to page 565 in our Volume 2 workbook. Okay, you can leave this out to the side just in case you need it. Okay, now we're going to work on some problems doing math or elapsed time, measuring the amount of time that has passed. Okay, so starting with the very top where it says unlock the problem. Ava and her family visited Space Center Houston. They watched a movie that began at 4:10 p.m. and ended at 4:53 p.m. How long did the movie last? So we need to know what time the movie began. So find that in the problem and circle it. What time did it begin?
4:10 p.m.
4:10, okay? Circle it. What time did the movie end?
4:53 p.m.
Okay, 4:53. So I need to figure out how much time the movie lasted, okay? So underline that. How long did the movie last? Short movie, right? 4:10 to 4:53, not even an hour long, okay? So what we're going to do, like what we saw in the Brain Pop video, is we're going to start on a number line with our start time, which was 4:10. Okay? And the easiest thing to skip by is probably tens for us. So we're going to start by skipping a jump of 10 minutes. So every time we jump, we need to put the amount that we're jumping by up above, and then we need to put the new time below. Okay? So now we're going to skip by another 10 minutes. So what would my new time be now? 10:30. 4:30. Okay, so down below we need to put 4:30. Okay? I still have to keep jumping by tens until I get really close to 4:53. I'm not close to 4:53 yet. So if I jump another 10, what time would that be? 4:40. Can I jump one more 10? Yes. So another 10 would give me what time? 4:50. We write it underneath. Okay, now what do you notice it's skipping by? It's starting to skip by ones now. So 4:50 plus 1 would be 4:51. 4:52. And one more would be 4:53. Okay, so we went from the start time to the end time. Now we need to figure out how much time we skipped by in all. Okay, so we're going to add up all the minutes. What's 10 plus 10? 20 plus 10? Plus 10 more? 40. 1, 42, 43. So 43 is how much we skipped by. So the elapsed time is 43 minutes. Did we answer our question?
Yes.
How long did the movie last?
43 minutes.
43 minutes.
That was a short movie.
Okay, so skipping on a number line is one way to do it. Another way is to skip on a clock. Okay, so flip the page. Let's look at the clock. The clock has already been drawn out and put the time for us. So it's already started at 4:10 because the short hand is on the 4, the long hand is on the 2. So now we're going to start at the 2 and skip by 5s. Okay? And we have to go around the clock until we get to 4:53. Okay, so I'm going to stop right here because this is where 53 is. This is 45, 50, 51, 52, 53. So we need to stop right here. Okay, so we're going to skip by 5s, everyone together. So this would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Okay, but now see, I'm really close to my time, so I can't skip by another 5 because I would go too far. So now what they started doing is skipping by 1s. Okay, so this would be 41, 42, and 43, and now I'm at the spot that I marked from the beginning where I needed to stop. Okay, so we already know how much time has passed. 43 minutes. Okay, any questions on that? Pretty simple, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now the last way to do it, which is probably my least favorite because this can get confusing if you guys don't know how to borrow on time, because it's different than just subtracting a normal number. So we're not going to use this way very often, but it is helpful when the hours are the same. You can subtract by putting the ending time on top. Okay, so what was the end time?
The end time was 4:53.
End time was 4:53, so we're going to put that up top. The start time is 4:10, so that goes on bottom. And then we can subtract. 3 minus 0 is 3. 5 minus 1 is 4. Okay? The only reason I don't like doing this is because sometimes if you have to borrow, it makes things a little bit complicated. Okay? It's not like normal borrowing because it's time, 60 minutes and an hour. Okay? Not 100. Okay, any questions on that?
No.
All right, let's move on then. Number 1 says use the number line to find the elapsed time from 1:15 to 1:40. Okay, so they've already given us a number line. So what do we want to skip by?
We want to skip by 5.
We want to skip by a 5 first. Okay, if I skip by 5, what would my new time be? 1:20. So put that underneath. Okay, do we want to skip by something bigger this time? If you skip by low numbers, it's going to take you longer and you're going to have to do more jumps.
10.
Okay, let's try a 10. So if I jump 10 minutes, what time would it be? 1:30. Okay, and then I can jump one more 10, right? So 30 plus 10 would be what? 140. So that's what my time was. And now we need to find out how much time passed. So we add up all the numbers on top. 5 plus 10 plus 10. What does that give me?
25.
25. Good. So the amount of time that was the elapsed time was 25 minutes. Okay. Now I want you guys to try number 2 and 3 on your own. So those of you at home, pause the video, work it out, and then unpause to see if you got it correct. Okay, so when you're doing a number line, we're going to check this real quick, but when you're doing the number line, you can choose what you want to skip by. So if it's easy for you to start with a 5, then you can do that. But your beginning of your number line should always be the start time. 11:35 should be at the beginning. Okay, and then you could skip by whatever you want. So if I skip by 5 and you skipped by 10, that's okay as long as we get the final answer. So I'm going to skip by 5 because I'm assuming that's probably what you guys did. So that would make me at what time? So it's 11:35 plus 5. It would be 40. Good. Then I'm going to jump by a 10. 11:50. So that's 10 minutes that I should label up top. And then you can go by ones now, or could we just go by 4?
4. Yeah.
How many of you jumped by ones? How many of you jumped by 4?
I jumped at once.
Okay, you could jump by ones, or I'm going to go ahead and just jump by 4, and that would give me 11:54. Now to get your answer, we add all of these times up. So 10 plus 5 is 15, plus 4 more would be 19. Okay, 19 minutes have passed. Okay, now on the clock, we needed to start at 4:20, which is already showing 4:20, and we're going to end at 5 o'clock. Okay, so where would I need to stop to get to 5 o'clock?
You need to stop at the 6.
Not at the 5, not at the 6.
Oh,
When does the clock
12.
turn to a new hour? When the
12.
minute hand gets to the 12.
60
Good.
minutes.
So I need to go all the way around until I get to the 12. Okay? So this would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So I skipped around 40 minutes on the clock. Okay, number 4 on page 567. Kelsey, you want to read?
Connor started reading his book about outer space at 9:15 in the morning. He read until 9:45 in the morning. How long did Connor read his book?
Okay, so there's those words that we took notes on this morning. 9:45, 9:45, and then 9:15. Okay? So if he started reading his book about outer space at 9:15, what time do you think that means? 9:15. So if you need to look at your notes real quick, let's look. 9:15 and 9:15 mean the same thing. So you could put after in parentheses. So it would be 9:15, y'all agree? 9:15 would be 9:15, Allie, is that right? Okay, good. So on our number line, we're going to put 9:15. And he read until 9:45. 9:45. So what do you think that means? 9:45.
You go 40.
It would be 45, but what would the hour be? If it's 9:45, would it be 9:45 or 10:45?
9, 10.
9:45, because you're 15 minutes before that. Okay, so it would be 9:45 because you're 9:45 means you're not yet to 10. You're getting close. You're 15 minutes away. Okay? So now we're going to skip on the number line to see how long he read his book. So what do we want to skip by? You can start with anything. It's up to you. Allie?
I would start with 5.
You're going to start with a 5. Okay, so 9:15 plus 5 minutes would be what? 9:20.
Then I would add 2 tens.
And then we're going to skip by 10s now. Okay, so that would be what time next? 9:30.
Then 1 more,
Another 10 would be 9:40.
then I would add a
And then you're only 5 more minutes away, so she says she would add another 5. So 5 minutes. Okay, now we've gotten to the end of our number line. What do we do next? Kaylee, what do we do next?
You have to add them up.
Add all of them up. So 5 plus 5 is
10.
10 plus 10, 20 plus 10,
30.
30. So 30 minutes. Okay. 2 more, guys, and then we're going to do the next page on our own. Multi-step. So when we see that, we know we have to do more than one thing.
Can I read it?
Go ahead, Allie, you can read.
Aiden arrived at the rocket display at 3.
Okay, so in that word problem, we're talking about Aiden and Ava, 2 people, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did we hear a key word in that question? Ava spent how many more minutes at the rocket display than Aiden?
Yes.
What was the key word, Aaliyah? How many more? So what does that mean? Subtract. So I know I'm going to have to subtract something. Okay? We need to figure out how much time Ava spent at the rocket display and Aiden. Okay? So that's our first step. So let's start with Ava. What time did she arrive at the rocket display? 3:30. Good. Ava arrived at the rocket display at 3:30. So we're going to start with our number line at 3:30 and end at 3:56. Okay, so if I jump a 10, what time would that give me?
If you jump a 10, you'll get 40.
3:40. Can I jump another 10? Yes, so 3:40 plus 10. 350. Okay, but I need to go to 356. So what can I do now?
You can go, and then you can go 5. And then add
I would just jump 6, right? Because 50 plus 6 is going to be what? So just do one big jump of 6. So I have a 6, a 10, and a 10. So Ava spent how much time at the rocket display?
She spent 6.
Not 16.
26.
26 minutes. Okay, now let's do Aiden. Aiden arrived at the rocket display at what time, Ryson?
You arrived at 3:35.
Good, so 3:35 is at the beginning of our number line. And then she left at 3:49. I'm assuming that's a she.
That name sounds like a boy name.
It could be a boy name. Okay, so we can skip by anything we want to. So what should we start with? What do y'all want to start with? A 5? Okay, so if I jump a 5, what time would I be at? 3:40, good. Okay, so I just need to go to 3:49, so I'm really close. Could I jump a 10? No, a 10 would be too big, right? Because that would be 3:50. So what could I do? A 9. So I'm just going to jump one big jump of 9 to get to the end. 9 plus 5 would equal what?
14.
14. Good. So, Ava was there for 26 minutes. Aiden was there for 14 minutes. Have we subtracted yet?
No.
No. We said we needed to subtract because it says how many more. So what am I going to subtract?
26 minus 14.
Okay. 26 minus 14. Will give me what?
It's 12.
12. Good. So 12 minutes is our final answer. Who was at the display longer? Ava or Aiden?
Ava.
Ava. Okay, any questions on that? We're going to stop there. I want you guys to do the back on your own, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then we will check our answers. So those of you at home, try 8, 9, 10, 11, and then I will give you the answers here in a few minutes.